We're back today. I'm sorry I missed yesterday. It was kind of busy and not really, just kind of lazy and really tired. Um, but so we're gonna do extra videos today. So we're doing 2 Ren videos today. I don't know why I keep doing this, but 2 Ren videos today. So right now we're gonna do the money game part 3 because this is the video I was supposed to do yesterday. And just to update you, I have listened to chapter 3. I now need to move on to chapter 4. So we're going to go ahead and get started with this one. Okay, so who's playing the piano? Because I know from the last video on part 1, someone said that was his bandmate, his old bandmate. Is this another bandmate? Is it the same bandmate? Let me know. Because for someone with a mask on, guitar is one thing, piano is a thing. These mofos are talented. I just don't even know. Sorry. Okay, so it's got to be the same. Is it the same guy, Samuel? Was that the same guy as the last guy? I forget things. There's 2 of them. Who's who? Is that Ren? Was he doing the piano? Ren can play the piano like that? What else can he play like that? Because that was crazy.
Let me tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. 1 year old and his first words were mine, mine, gimme. 2 years old he was walking, 3 years old walking quickly, 4 years old he was running around the pavements of his city. 5 years old and his daddy told him, listen here son.
Give me a second. I was super confused at first because I swore he said Jenny. And I was like, wait, what? And then he said he, so I was like, is it Jimmy and not Jenny? Gosh. I was so confused. I was like, wait, we're going back to the Jenny story? No, we're not. No, we're not. I'm just kind of in. Let's restart that.
Let me tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. 1 year old and his first words were mine, mine, gimme. 2 years old he was walking, 3 years old walking quickly, 4 years old he was running round the pavements of his city. 5 years old and his daddy told him, listen here son, you gotta learn to...
Oh. We gotta one. Who's this guy? Is it a girl? I don't know. Who's this person?
Be a man he works for what he wants. 6 years old and he's reading, writing, top of the bunch. And when he's 7, his progression made him student.
I don't know why I said is it a she, because it's obviously a boy he's talking about. It's early.
Number 1, 8 years old and he's praised for unusual grades. 9, his parents paid for private school to nurture the flame. 10, 11, 12, 13, he ascends and ascends. His daddy tells him, son, money is the means to all ends. 14, solving complex mathematical equations. At 15, IQ 150, still elevating. 16, he develops complex software code that detects weaknesses in cybersecurity protocols. 17, and he sells his vision, keeping the share. Not yet an adult, but he's practically a millionaire. 18, and his daddy tells him, now you're a man. This world don't give a damn about you, so take all that you can. 19, he turns a profit, stocks and shares, invest in product. 20, double down deposits. 21, his income rockets. 22, he learns the truth is just an obstacle to wealth.
So we have multiple people here. But I'm guessing the guy that's currently on the piano is Samuel. That's where I'm getting that from, but I don't know who the other people are. Maybe they're just like actors or people that he knows portraying this role of this boy, Jimmy. But we're talking a lot of stuff, talking about how this boy is growing up to be a billionaire, but I'm guessing that it's not going to be worth a single dime because he's going to end up being super unhappy because money don't buy everything. Well, I don't know. I guess it does depend on people because personally, money buys me all the happiness in the world. Being a mother, that's okay. Money, money, money. I can adopt and still be a mother. But yeah, if I don't have that, then I feel like life is meaningless. But it does depend on circumstances, who you are, and the life that you're living. I mean, sometimes money's really not all it's cracked up to be. So, it really does differ, I guess.
Give a damn about you, so take all that you can. 19, he turns a profit, stocks and shares, invest in product. 20, double down deposits. 21, his income rockets. 22, he learns the truth is just an obstacle to wealth. If you manipulate the data, then the lie will sell itself. 23, a life of luxury, crystal and cocaine. 24, he makes the Forbes list, they're applauding his name. 25, and his daddy tells him, listen here, son, while you're sitting in that palace, that don't mean that you won. 26, a business shift, he switches business to arms. He's 27, dealing nuclear and shells in Iran. 28, inside the Senate, money bought him a seat. He's 29, a role of counsel in the president's suite. Now he's 30, his daddy says you're losing the race. You're just a servant to the king, not even in second place. 31, a big maneuver for his daddy's approval, moving imports over borders from the exports out of Cuba. 32, moving grams, growing.
I really wonder though, in the meantime, what is his dad doing? Is dad number one? Because if dad's not number one, then he really needs to shut his trap because he has no room to talk. That's like, me living the life I do and me going to my niece at this age and being like, what are you doing with your life? You should be doing blah, 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 blah. Just like my parents did. You need to graduate and you need to do this and that and you need to do this and that and do as I say and not as I do. No, 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 no. Now y'all just being hypocrites. Hypocrites. Do not sit there and tell your kid that they need to do this and they need to do that and they need to go to college and they need to become this and become a doctor. Unless you yourself did all that stuff, you have no room to talk. Just like cigarettes. For my parents to sit there all my life and be all like, you shouldn't smoke and blah 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 blah. Well, technically I didn't even smoke cigarettes till I was 19. But this is being a hypocrite. This is being a hypocrite. No. No. How dare you sit there and start smoking at the age of 14 and tell your own kid they can't be smoking? Well, I mean, you did it. Then again, you don't want your kids to actually be like you, so it's one of those really tough subjects. But you should really live, life more thoughtful. But I guess I am a person that I always wanted to be a mom since I was a little girl. So ever since I was like 12, 13, my whole entire thought process throughout school was, I'm gonna do what I would want my kids to do. And I wouldn't want my kids to lose their virginity before they were 18, so I didn't. I wouldn't want my kids to drop out. I didn't. I wouldn't want my kids to do drugs, so I didn't. I don't want my kids to be smoking cigarettes at that age, so I sure didn't. And now when I have kids and my nieces and nephews, and I can sit there and be all like, it's better to wait till you're 18 to do these things. They can't call me a hypocrite because I waited till I was 18 to do all of those things for a reason, because I didn't want to be like my parents. And my parents irritated the crap out of me with all that crap, especially schooling. Like if both your parents did not go to school and they didn't finish school, I just don't understand why they would sit there and you need to do that. It's more, you should more explain things like, hey, listen, I didn't do this. But in a result for me not doing this is what happened and this is what happened. And as your parent, I'd really prefer you to choose a different path than what I did, because obviously you could tell it's not doing all that well for me. That's how you should go about it. Because it's not okay to just be sitting there, you need to do that, you need to listen, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, you get the point.
Mover for his daddy's approval, moving imports over borders from the exports out of Cuba. 32 moving grams, growing kilos to tons. He's 33, filling warehouses with powder and guns. 34, turf war with nobody to stop it. Blind eye from the po-po inside of his pocket. "35, he gets the call. I'm sorry, son, but it's your father. Had a heart attack. I'm sorry, he's gone. 36, getting pissed off, abusing his product. 37, eyes glazed, disposition demonic. 38, with a prostitute.
He's falling apart because his dad sat there and was like, you need to do this and you need that. That's not good enough. And this isn't good enough. And that's not good enough. And now he's dead. And it feels like all that work you did was really for nothing, because it really didn't, it wasn't, you weren't doing anything to satisfy yourself or to live for yourself. You were living for your father. And that's where your mistake was. You do not live for your parents, you live for yourself. You are your own being and your own person, and you get your life one time. Just because you shove out a child doesn't make him your property.
Abusing his product. 37, eyes glazed, disposition demonic. 38, with a prostitute, a moment of passion, heating up a silver spoon and then chasing the dragon. 39, getting reckless and hungry for power. Daddy's words are still driving him to kill and devour. Makes a move against the cartel, but the strategy's flawed. They retaliate and leave him in a hospital ward. A bullet buried in his vertebra and one in his leg. The doctor sighs and says, I don't think you'll be walking again. Fuck.
So much going on and so much to unpack. So now we've gotten to the point where you've drowned yourself so much that everything you did is backlashing. Everything you're doing is causing more harm, and now you can't even walk. And why? Because you wanted to do all this stuff for your daddy. I love my dad as much as the next person, but I do not live for him. I live for me. I wonder if Ren is making this video and doing this song for a purpose, a reason, kind of just to show people, hey, you really shouldn't be living your life for anybody. It doesn't even matter if it's your own parent. You know, you shouldn't be living for anybody. You should be living for yourself. I think that's, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but that's what I'm getting from it.
Let me tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. He was 40 and he cursed the words, mine, mine, gimme. 41 he wasn't walking, 42 not walking quickly. 43, never running round the pavements of his city. 44, inside a palace with a mountain of gold. But those riches turn to rubble when perspective evolves. Weighing heavy on his conscience is the value of gold. Lamborghini for a life, trading money for souls. Jimmy followed the code inside the land of the free. Put your hand inside the cookie jar, take more than you need. And his example is exaggerated versions of me. And it's a version of him. And it's a version of she. And it's a version of you. There's no escaping the blame. The way we live is parasitic. Fuck the money and fame. Cut the music. This isn't entertainment. This is real life. The way we live is lunacy, community, it declines. Hyperpolarized, always fighting, then we divide. Truth is less important than the money that we designed. Money's an invention. Politics from our invention. They all come from people's ideas. Did I mention? Border's an invention. Law and order fuel the tension. It leads to people killing each other. My solution? Everything is subject to change. We could build utopias if individuals were taught to use their brains. But if we teach kids in schools to always be sheep and put themselves before the herd if there's more money for me, then there's no future I see where the humans survive. We're parasites inside a petri dish with cannibal minds. Mold will grow upon the surface and consumes till it dies. And our fate could be the same without this story to the wise.
Second more of the story, don't be money hungry. I mean, as money hungry as I am, I mean, you know, as much as money does buy me happiness for sure, again, these things differ. I don't think I could never, like, be happy selling drugs like that. I could never be happy making money off of things like building bombs and whatnot. I just don't believe in those things. So I couldn't do it. I would not be happy doing those things. It wouldn't matter how much money you gave me. Same with like harming a child. You could offer me billions and billions of dollars. I could be the richest person on the entire planet. You could make me the king, queen, whatever of everything, and I still would be like, no, it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to be able to do it. So, yeah, he's right. You know, but you know, yeah, yeah. Don't be so money hungry where you have to make real crap decisions and bring other people down just to move yourself up in the world. It's not okay. It's just really not. There are other ways to make money without putting people down.
"45. Jimmy comes home out of the rain, soaking wet upon a wheelchair, drinking again. He is everything he wants, he is fortune and fame. He's a fortunate fool with an unfortunate fate. With a 45 caliber aimed at his brain. 45 a fitting number cause his age is the same. Here's the words of his father, it's such a damn shame. Then he presses on the trigger of a money game.
It ends it off that way. Money game. Is there gonna be a part 4? Who knows? I'm gonna go ahead and end this one here so I can move on to the next run video. I gotta decide which one I'm going to do, and you guys have a wonderful time period. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.